Quick Gallop J, hey.com, and its YouTube channel. The Quick Galloper embark on a journey into the life and legacy of a giant in the Jamaican horse racing industry, Gary Subratie. Gary Subratie's story is one woven from passion, dedication, and an unwavering connection to the magnificent creatures that thunder down the track. Born and raised in the heart of Spanish Town, he was surrounded by horses from a young age. This proximity fostered a deep respect and understanding that blossomed into a lifelong love for horses. Early exposure to the racetrack, often alongside his own father, a seasoned conditioner himself, ignited a spark within Gary. Witnessing the grace and power of these equine athletes firsthand laid the foundation for the remarkable career that lay ahead. We'll celebrate his victories, the thrilling races that cemented his reputation as a champion maker. So prepare yourselves for part one of a captivating narrative, a testament to the unwavering spirit of a man who has dedicated his life to the pursuit of equine excellence. Buckle up, racing aficionados, for this is part one of the Gary Subratie story.
First of all, trainer, welcome, and thanks for agreeing to do this interview. It's been a long time we have been trying, and now you are in the mood to do it.
Yes, I am.
And let's see, recently there was a horse by the name of Cookie Day and Night. When you saw that horse go by its main protagonist en route to your 800 winner, when the horse actually went by, what was going through the head of Gary Subratie?
Well, a lot of emotions, you know. I remember my father, first winner, you know, riding as a jockey. A lot of sentiments was going through that 800 win. Appreciation of the owners over the time, over the years. The support from the jockeys and the grooms, especially the grooms. A lot of things go through your mind at the time, briefly, but the emotions were more the father emotions, you know, because of where we started from. Back, you know, in the early 70s, my father used to bring me as a kid, just like what's in Mackie doing. So, you know, it started there. We used to go around Big Moose and Auto Shop. And those days were, you know, it was fun, and everybody used to come in the evenings, and, you know, they play poker, cook food at the stables. One day it would be at this stable, the next Friday it would be another stable. So it was fun. I know I was a kid running up, and my father used to let me loose. I used to be all over the place. You know, so it was a fun thing for me as a kid growing up, you know, leaving school in the evenings, trying to get home in time before my father leaves to go to the track. Those were very, very special times for me.
In the winners enclosure, the unofficial winner of race number 3, number 5, Cookie Day and Night. 4-year-old Chestnut Colt by Resurgent. Eloping Emma by Traditional. Bred Felix Heath. Own Cookie and the Son. It's the 800th win for Gary Subratie. Congratulations, trainer Gary Subratie, on a new milestone.
I am going to name you 7 trainers. What do you have in common with them? Wayne DaCosta, Philip Fiani, Alan Billy Williams, Eileen Cliggott, Richard Todd, Anthony Nunes, and Kenneth Mattis. There are 7 trainers. What do you have in common with them?
800 winners and above. And still going. Probably only 2 or 3 still going right now in the top. That would be top 8, right?
Yeah.
Okay, it's a special time, a special thing for me. Because I remember winning my first race. And I remember a trainer, Wilfred Chin, had his 100 winner. And I was around Wilfred at the time, back in the day, when I just started training. He taught me a lot as well. And Wilfred had his 100 winner. And I said to I just win about 4 or 5 races, you know. I said, well, win a 100 race. I mean, every year, every time I got the 100, it's special. And I said, boy, another 100, all right, let me see. Let me try for the 900 now, you know, just keep going. I love to get to the 1,000, but I take 100 at a time.
100 at a time?
100 at a time.
That's exalted company. That's exalted company. You're looking at an 18-time champion trainer, a 14-time champion trainer. All of these people have won championships or have gotten very close. You have gotten very close, but you have not crossed the line as yet. Is that worrying you?
Not really, because it's a numbers game. I remember Wayne Costa said that a few years ago when I was leading the championship up to about June, July. And he said, Gary doesn't have the numbers. So, you know, it's true. It's no numbers game. He had 50, I had 60, I had 30. Even though I'm just 30 couple other trainers that are in front of me have a lot. I don't know how much I have, but a lot of horses.
The name Subratie reverberates in horse racing quite a bit. There is Errol Big Sub Subratie, there is Stafford Subratie, there is Errol Little Sub Subratie, and no doubt there are others. Your relationship with the names that I've called?
Well, all Subraties are related, but Anthony Subratie, which is Errol Subratie, which is my father's first cousin. Stafford is my father's brother, and that's where the relationship comes in.
And your father is Errol Big Sub Subratie, who now has a trophy named after him.
Yes, he does.
Apart from your early foray into horse racing, jumping around a stable, watching people playing poker and other things, you started to ride.
Yes, definitely.
Do you remember your first winner, and what's the name of that horse, and what was the feeling like on that day?
I remember coming to the track, getting on horses in the evening, because we used to work horses at 3 o'clock in the evenings. If that never happened, I probably would never ride, because my mom would have never allowed me to come here during the week. I could come after school, so it was great for me that they used to do it in the evenings. So that's why I got a crave for riding, a urge. It's like something I couldn't get out of my system. I was determined. I remember the first day I went on a track with a horse by the name of Polydemon. I was supposed to trot it one round, and my father was there watching me. I'm trotting, going all the way around, because I'm trotting around the ring every day. I'm good, you know.
Yeah.
So going around the track now, when Polydemon came into the quarter, she said, "Son, hold on tight here." And I remember she taking off down the street, and a groom those days his name was Big Boy, come out in the mega track. I guess my father was in a little panic now, because he must have sent him out in the track to slow down the horse, and I'm seeing this man in front of me, and I said, "Come out of the backside way," because all the horse wanted to do was to go. Eventually I pulled her up at the 7th furlong, and I said, "Boy, that feel good, want to do it again." So I got a little hook then, and it was scary from my father, because he thought I would have got injured or something, you know. And those days he didn't work horses with helmet or vest.
Okay.
Nobody even thought of those things in those days. The horse racing, to me, from a young age, is just a love. You know, if you don't love it, don't do it. That's what I say, you know.
You mentioned your mother, and your mother not allowing you to come down here because of school. What school did you attend?
St. Jago High. No, I mean, everybody knew me because of horse racing, and there was a guy, I think Facey's name is now, his trainer Facey. He used to have a horse in the ball field next door to where my classroom was, so I was watching them training the horses in the morning when I'm at school.
Okay.
So there was horses there. You know, stepping back a little bit, I remember as a kid, I used to live right in the center of Spanish Town, the bus terminus. That's before it was bus terminus in Spanish Town. It was a plain pasture. Those were pastures beside rice mill. And I remember my bedroom was looking over into the pasture, which is now the bus terminus. And I remember seeing there were foals and mares in there. So I always used to sit there in the morning and watch them. You know, so it's a love for horses from way, way back. I mean, I'm talking about kid 5, 6 years old. So
Your first winner?
First winner,
As a jockey?
Prince Oberon. I don't think I ever had a feeling like that, winning my first race, not even winning the Derby or any classic. Just because I remember it took me 6 months to win my first race as a rider. Not that my father didn't try with some horses, but you know, some of them weren't going anywhere fast. And I remember that overwhelming feeling. I've never had that feeling in racing other than that one day. I mean, the goose pimples, my hair stand on end. I think it was even better than sex at the time. I mean, at that time, maybe I thought it was better than, you know. It was the feeling that you get, you don't get that normally. It's not a normal feeling. I remember that very well. You know, it was like yes, I did it. You know what I mean? I really get, you know, like, not even the derby I feel that way.
But with all that emotion, all that joy, you stopped riding. Why?
When I went to England, I was getting too bad and I was doing some bad things. And my father said, you know, for you go back to school. So my father put me on a plane, sent me away. I was going to a college by name, Warley College in Birmingham. I went there for about 2 weeks. And I was going to school in the morning with my two sisters. Just the other day we were talking about it. And when there was this big of a light post. And I said, what me I do? And Race asked me where I ride, you know.
Oh.
So me stand up behind the post and I hide. So my two sisters are walking and talking, and my bigger sister now, she's the boss, you know. So she turned and said, where Gary? Where Gary? Tell me they're behind the post, no moving, because I don't want to see me because I have to go to school, you know. So when I did that now, I said, you know what, let me go to the career center. And I went to the career center and I said, I want to get involved with horse racing. I didn't have a contact or nothing. And they gave me the British Racing Bureau. And so I must write them a letter, tell them what I can do and what I've done. Write them as a jockey. Within a week I got back a letter for about 3 interviews. And the first person I went to the interview, they hired me as a stable lad. And it was one of the best experiences. That's when I really learned to ride. If I had that experience before I started riding, I would have been a much better jockey at the time.
What track were you riding at?
It wasn't really riding, it was more going to tracks, bringing horses. I was a traveling head lad at the time. So we'd go to like Stratford and we're right beside Stratford and Avon. We used to go like Newton, Albert, Hereford, you name it, Bangor, D. So there's so many of them went to. There was like 50 odd tracks at the time in England. I probably went to like 30 out of them.
Okay.
New markets, all of those tracks, just went there. You know, it was a good experience for me though.
When did you come back to Jamaica?
About 2 years to the day, and then I came back to the track. I was hanging around with Bongo, Alan Mirage. I mean, you know, I was thinking of coming back to ride, but when I realized I was a little too heavy, I was about 135 pounds at the time, and I said, you know what, I don't want to go through that.
Was that a result of fish and chips?
A lot of fish and chips, and a lot of beer, a lot of lager lime. And so eventually came back and decided to go open a business, and I opened a wholesale business right at the terminus of Spanish Town. So I was doing well for a while, and then I left there. I went to work for Chocolate Cove. Danny Melvin wanted help building Chocolate Cove at the time, so I went down there and was helping him with it. And I left Chocolate Cove. I went to work brief stint at Couples, stable manager at the time, and then I migrated to Miami. And I was in Miami for a few years, but I gave up on horse racing. I just said, I don't want to do horse racing anymore. But I remember working at Home Depot one night, and we're there, cleaning up and doing the thing, and Craig O'Sullivan, which is the food for the poor guy down there, Craig O'Sullivan, he was working with me at the time at Home Depot. And I just said, you know what, Craig, we're done with this, horse racing. I called me. Something just kept pulling me towards horse racing, and I just said to myself, that's enough of that. So, pack up. My wife wasn't very happy about the decision I made. But we went through it. I mean, very good woman, supported me through thick and thin. And it was a good experience.
So when did you actually come back to Jamaica?
Came back 98, ending part of 98, latter part of 98.
So you
I got my license at Gulfstream in 98.
Oh, you got your license at Gulfstream?
Trainer's license at Gulfstream.
Who was your apprentice master?
Well, actually, I was around a trainer called Junior McIntosh and Willie McIntosh, Bobby Hale, and Ralph Zadie. At the time, Ralph Zadie was champion trainer at Calder. And I was there. I had a one horse. I was thinking of coming back into the game, and a horse by the name of Jessica Petard, and Bimbo, which is my brother-in-law. He was moving with my wife's sister at the time, and they came to spend a week with us. And he was coming to the track with me, and he said, "Where you don't get your license? Where you wait pan?" So I said, "You know what happened? Because those days you just need a trainer, 3 trainers to recommend you." and then you go do the test and the band test. So I went to Ralph Zady and he said, yeah man, you can get me help you, but I hope you're not like your father, because your father can't train. I don't forget it. And then we went to Bobby Hill for him to sign paper, and he said, no, I'm not doing that, not helping nobody, and I went to this, and it went on for a little while, and I was going into the car, and I was a little, dropped my head down, I said, boy, I can't believe the man, because I know the man from was a little boy. And when I was going to the car, I'm calling her back, come to the paper, man, so I said, man, I forget a little scolding before you go. So anyway, he signed the paper, and Judah signed the paper. And we get my license. I went and got my life at Gulfstream. I took the exam at Gulfstream.
So did you have any winners at Gulfstream?
Didn't have any. I had 2 starts, 1 4th and a 5th with Jessica Petard. So when I came back and applied for the trainer license, they denied me. So I don't have enough experience. There's a man that went to England, exposure in the States, jockey in Jamaica, and they said I don't have enough experience. So I appealed it. And then they said I should come back and do the exam that they had. I did the exam and it went okay. What they had here, I didn't went to the school or anything, I just did the exam. And then they granted me the license, Gonzales granted me the license.
And that was when?
98.
That was 98.
98. That's a pattern.
Do you remember your first winner as a trainer?
Yeah man, Royal Invitation. Took me 6 months to win that too.
You mentioned that the win by Prince Oberon gave you the greatest joy.
Greatest joy.
But this win by Royal Invitation must have been very close.
Close enough, because it was a fight to get the first win. The first win is the key one,
Yeah.
And that was a Royal Invitation for me. So,
Yeah, okay.
the name suited everything at the time. A Royal Invitation. Trevor Gokul, which was the owner.
Yes,
I came back from the States and he said, come on, I gave this horse. And I said, all right, let me try a thing. 40,000 claimer. So I built my career on claimers. In the beginning with 40,000, 80,000 dollars. And that's how I started my career.
Were you even after waiting 6 months, were you anticipating that win?
She should have won earlier. I don't know, something happened at the gate that couple of weeks before and she braked slow and then she came around second. So she should have won earlier.
At that time, did you ever believe in your lifetime that with that one winner, you could add 799?
Nearly a year to win 5 or 6 races at the time. I was just starting, only had about 3 or 4 horses. I just gradually got better and better.
How has it been so far as a trainer? You started off with a moderate string and then you grew. Can you take us through that process?
I try to look at myself as a versatile trainer, which I try to study the horse and see what the horse prefers. I can train horses from walking on a ring to going to the pool, to going to the track, bring a 2-year-old from scratch, bring a horse from a horse coming from the farm to the races. A lot of people lose that along the way, because of the claiming system. It's a ready-made horse, so they don't know. A lot of them still know, but they just don't get the opportunity because they don't look that direction. And I think most trainers should look that direction. The greatest feeling is to have a horse like as a 2-year-old, wow, to win 9 races out of 10 starts as a 2-year-old and win 11 races straight. To me, that was an achievement for me, because he raced 10 times as a 2-year-old and he went on to win the Guineas. I think he was a little, the riding in the St. Ledger at the time, I wasn't too pleased about it at the time. I think he could have done better. He ran second. I beat him with another horse. That was Nipster.
Yeah.
But that horse was special because of a 2-year-old to race 10 times in a year, in 6 months.
Yeah.
He started racing in June.
He got beaten on his first outing over the straight
but he wasn't quite ready. I just gave him a run. This is where he was. And I told the owner at the time, Michael Bernard, I said, that horse will never beat him again.
Okay.
I knew what I had.
That's England Rose.
English Rose. English Rose. England Rose? England Rose.
England Rose, right. Gary, you started to mention some of the horses that you have looked after. In your view only, the best horse you have ever trained?
Somebody said that to me earlier and I was just pondering about it. I mean, they're all special. Atomica is a really special horse. I've never had a horse like her that has been so consistent since she's a 2-year-old. She's now 5. And right now she's on top of her game. They're all special in their own way. I thought Wawa was one of the best 2-year-olds I've ever trained. I thought he's a great, great horse. You know, he got that injury little part right after the Guineas, and we had a little issue from that. But Atomica, she's gone from strength to strength. You know, we made mistakes along the way, you know, by running her in the Jamaica Cup and then running her in the Mountain Mile and trying to get everything. But why skip a race, a shore race for her onshore? At the time, the Jamaica Cup, I think they're putting it too close to the Mountain Mile.
3 weeks.
Yeah. I mean, it's making you looking for your best horses in the country, and then you're putting it 3 weeks before the Mountain Mile. And everybody's pounding. So you're going into what happened in the last 2 Mountain Miles, you have a bunch of sore horses going in because everybody trying to qualify. Everybody racing, and it's causing a big issue, you know.
Is there a horse, Gary, that probably didn't reach
The
limelight like a Atomica, like a Calculus?
I was by the name of Bushy Park Roger. Because there's a big story behind that. I don't want to have time to go into that, but
Please.
there's a story.
Please.
I remember me and Mr. Johnson, Neville Johnson, we went down to Mr. Roger Latchman's farm, which was the old Bombay farm. And he had Noran Batman down there and Bushy Park Roger. But when I saw both of them, they were on 3 legs. So he said to me, find a home for them. So I called a friend of mine by the name of Roger Newman. And I said to him, I have 2 horses that cannot be trail riding horses, because they were looking trail riding horses. If you have a truck coming for them, just come for them, pick them up here. And say, no man, bring them to the track. So it's easier for him to pick them up at the track. So I'm going to get a trailer to pick up the 2 horses and bring them to the track. So when Noran Batman come and Bushy Park, I told them that day Blackwood was the groom for Bushy Park. I said, I'm going to go to the country. He can't barely walk. Let's leave him in the stall. Let's give him some feed and take care of him. Let's clean him off and keep him in the stall. He can't barely walk. Noran Batman, I think I could work with that horse because the tendon them look like he could work with it. So I called back Roger. I said, there's only one coming. He said, all right, no problem. Tomorrow the truck coming. The next day he called me. He said, Noran, the truck breakdown. Give him about a week. So we leave the horse, not painting. We're working on Noran Batman to get him to race now. So Roger called me about 10 days after that and said, get the horse ready, the truck will leave here in about an hour. So I called the groom and I said, take out Bushy Park, Roger, and go wash him off and make him look decent. If you go down, well, I tell you something, when the horse come out of the stall, the horse, you lick down the groom, take off.
Yeah.
And I said, no man, the horse not moving lame again. So I said to myself, you know what, I'll try me now. So I called back Roger and said, Roger, let's hold off for the truck thing right now, you know. We'll try a thing. I said to the groom, take him to the pool, give him about 3 rounds the first time. The next day I said, go back and give him 5 rounds the next day. We'll try something, if him break down, break down. So I decided, so I see a race in about 3 weeks, you know. Right? You hear me say to you, a race in 3 weeks. And I said, what if we can get this horse ready in 3 weeks? So we call now Stewart, Paul Ramsey. Paul Ramsey was kind of ready most of my horse at the time. And I said, Paul, come work this horse for me Sunday morning. This is about 2 weeks before the race. So I said, just can't time. Feel like if I break down, pull him up and carry him on. No big deal if him break down. And I said, when you come, it's the first work, you know, out of the straight. So when you get to the quarter, let's make him gallop a lick, make him enjoy himself. So Paul come back and say, when I look at the Bushy Park walking up the back, up on the trail up back on, from the track, 2 sides of the track, and I said, wait, this horse look like him sold than me. So I said, Paul, what the horse? He said, when you run him, you can't lose. I said, yeah, right, man, this horse just come from bush. He said, this horse can't lose when you run him. Anyway, so we decided, so 1 week before the race now, I give him another work. And I carry him down the street. And this time I tell Paul, make him go for the 3.5 and make him finish the work strong. I said, yeah, so bunks will come back and I said, Paul, am I right? I'm sound. He said, when you run the horse, this horse cannot lose. 59 and run the day when he run.
And won.
Even 3 weeks coming off of the farm.
Okay, that's a unique story.
Yeah.
But Gary, the goal and ambition of all trainers is to win the classic races.
Yeah.
You have won several.
Yeah.
Can you go through some of them for us?
Well, the first classic winner was Nepal. I took double a day, man Boyo, and I run the Quinella in the Phyllis Gillings, Treasure Girl and Nepal, and then I won the cold section with Big Man Boyo, and I run also third in that race with Uncle Ken. So it was a good day for me. So I had the 2 classics on one day, which I never had any, and then I went on Nuclear Fair, whoa.
But it took you a long time to win a derby.
Yes, it did. Actually, won my first derby in 2013 in Trinidad.
Yeah.
So that was like, to me, winning a derby, but not the same.
Yeah.
It's not Jamaica. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Trinidad derby is special too, you know, but just to win a Jamaican derby as a youth coming up, that was one of my goals. And I think I should have won 4 straight. I just think it was unfortunate. The first one would have been Nepal. No, Nepal, Nipster. When
King
Arthur pushed him down and interfered with the other horse I had in the race. I had a good chance to another affair. Then the following year, with inexperienced Mambin, when he kick off and leave Supreme Soul, at half a furlong out, I was 5 lengths in front. There was no Supreme Soul in the picture. Him gone miles wide. Nobody know where he is in the picture. And with 50 yards to go, the man run past me and beat me. And then the following year, I got Calculus and then Atomica.
There's a story behind Calculus, because you got Calculus like in March or April of the year.
I got him exactly 3.5 weeks before the St. Ledger. 3.5 weeks. He had finished 7th or 8th in the Guineas. When I got him, I thought he was a little dry. So I tried to get him to sweat as much as I could. And I had a couple of issues, but it wasn't bad. Nothing we couldn't work with. I mean, Anthony did a good job and bring him to that point at the time.
That's Anthony Nunes.
Yeah. And I just did the finishing touches after that race. And I thought that just the dryness was, I think it was respiratory, was the main problem with him at the time. And he just went on and he won the St. Ledger, and then he won the Derby with Shane Ellis. So that was I mean, 2 furlongs ago I thought I lost the race, the Derby, because he was up there and he backed out to 4th place.
Yes.
And then he fought back and came between us. I thought that was one of the most miraculous derbies I've seen, apart from Lucky Olsen, which I've seen.
Yeah.
That derby was special. I don't think the track announcer made it as good as it should have been, because I came out of the picture and he didn't mention me back until 20 yards from home.
Yeah.
He never even put me back in this. Billy Wiz and further beyond, and I was coming in between. And he never, never captured that moment, if you understand what I mean.
Yeah.
But it was, to me, that was special to me.
As you're about to flash past the 5/16th, it's Further and Beyond and Magnificent Day Nelson, who turned for home in the 2021 Jamaica Derby. A quarter of a mile to go. Further and Beyond continues to hold that lead. Calculus is over on the rail. Billy Wiz now set a light on the outside. Further and Beyond getting the stick in the left hand as they arrive at the furlong pole quickly. Dane snatches it into the right. Here is a Billy Wiz kicking in on the outside. Further and Beyond beginning to tie up Billy Wiz. Calculus coming once again. Calculus now points close home, and the Ledger winner takes the Derby over Billy Wiz. Then Further and Beyond. Big Jewel is next ahead of Santorini.
So winning a derby, the hype behind that, is it real?
Yeah, it's real. It's there. It makes you feel different. But it's funny enough, some other little small races, beating certain type of horses, give me more pleasure. Because I've won those races now, it don't mean, if you understand what I mean, but winning it is great. But sometimes when you beat outside, like for instance Rough Entry, to beat him was a challenge for me. So I know my horse could beat him, those are the type of things that mean more to me.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? It's a challenge to beat him.
As they're about to arrive at the 5/16th, and Atomica, the super filly, now begins to draw away from Rough Entry going in chase. Is that a fact? Looks to have cried enough. Green Gold Rush not in it at all. Atomica running the way she likes out in front. It's Atomica getting a crack or two of the left-hand stick. They leave the 3/16th. The filly is looking unbeatable at this stage. They run past the furlong pole. It is Atomica. She's back to her best. Atomica is plundering this field in the Viceroy Trophy. She's running away from. They have no answers, and she will win by the length of an international airstrip. Atomica by double digits. Is that a fact? Is second. Green Gold Rush runs on to snatch third. Rough Entry floundering in fourth.
Gary, it can't be a numbers game only, as you mentioned earlier. You have this habit of starting well
I can't finish.
and can't finish. Why is that?
I don't know. It's with the conditions and the horses at the time. A lot of trainers, no more the top trainers, they kind of lay back a little in the first part of the year and try and recoup themselves for the rest of the year.
Okay.
Thank you for watching another video produced by the team from quickgallopjaya.com and its YouTube channel, The Quick Galloper. Please stay on the channel for other enlightening videos on those involved in local horse racing. Please like, subscribe, and press the notification bell.